I know it's kind of hard to believe this, but yes, me, I've actually fixed traffic, and it turns out it wasn't anywhere near as complicated as I thought it was going to be. Because it turns out that my original solution is exactly what I needed to do. I've added a few roundabouts to this space just north of Galway, just to the east of Castlebar, and I mean, traffic is moving, is what it's doing. We finally got it to move around. Although there have been some other changes. This isn't the only thing that I've done, and I want to walk you through what I've done in between episodes, and then we're going to go and probably do some airport stuff and some other stuff. Most likely. It would be a very short video if I didn't. So the first thing that I experimented with was adding some little back road connections from Castlebar to Galway. So down here, we now have access for vehicles to go back and forth, and they do. There's a decent amount of traffic that takes these roads, and we are seeing a little bit of a tailback over here, and we are seeing some busy roads in and around Galway, but honestly, this isn't the end of the world. There are much bigger problems on this map than this little road right here, and we will get to those. But before we do that, I want to come over to the east side of Galway because I've essentially rebuilt this road a bunch of times. We've added more connections to Galway itself. We've added more roundabouts down here. And I've also added a roundabout down this way by the Limerick food processing plant because, as you can see, there's a lot of traffic trying to go through here. And I'm actually realizing that this roundabout is using the wrong type of road. So let's go ahead and upgrade this to be some highway roads, because that's kind of what we're looking for in here to get the traffic going just that little bit quicker. And the reason that happened is because we finally unlocked street constructions. I can just place roundabouts now without having to build them manually, which is what this one was, and that is what this one happens to be, and this one as well. I love that I can place them so quickly now. It's kind of amazing, and I kind of love it. But unfortunately, we do still have some traffic problems, and they are just outside of Mullenar, as tends to be the way of things. Basically, because I've got so many trucks able to go back and forth now because they're not getting stuck down this way around Galway, this road up this way just doesn't really have the capacity to do what I want to do, and it's not really ideal. Most of the vehicles in here are either going to the steel mill or they're going over to the oil refineries, so we have a lot of industrial traffic going through here, and I'm trying to figure out what we could do to deal with that, but I'm really not too sure what options we have other than maybe bringing the trucks for the iron down from Belfast again. But to be fair, well, the frame rate's not great, but neither is the traffic going into Belfast. I don't really want to throw, oh my God. Yeah, I don't want to throw, I really don't want to throw more vehicles at this absolute mess. In fact, I'm kind of wondering, can I go in here and give this more lanes? Does that do anything? Does that solve any problems? It gives us, by the looks of it, 2 left turn lanes. Well, 3 technically. What are you doing? Madam, I need you to, number 1, stop levitating, and number 2, get out of the way. I don't quite know. Okay, there's a few people just chilling in the middle of the road here. That's it's a choice, I guess, is what that is. That is definitely a choice that they are making. Let me just upgrade this entire stretch of road here. We'll give the entire thing more lanes, and we will just see if maybe that helps traffic a little bit, if maybe that can help it sort of filter through here. We do have some traffic, quite a lot of traffic actually, that wants to U-turn here, which I don't love. It looks like we also have some U-turning down this way. I would love to figure out who's doing that. So Belfast Bricks to City is one that's doing the U-turning. I really don't want you to do that. And over this way, I'm assuming it is going to be this line. Yeah, there's a bit of U-turning going on there as well. That's presumably because of the waypoint that we have in here. So before we get too carried away with some other stuff, let me go in here and see if I can fix some of this U-turning business that seems to be going on. So before waypoint 10, go to that waypoint and then get rid of waypoint 10. Does that solve the problem? It does. It's still, I don't love this little turn that it's doing, but that kind of gets rid of the U-turn, which is what I was looking for. Are you by any chance also U-turning? What's going on? I'm trying to figure out which line is which. What are you doing? So you are completely fine. We have we have a pink line and a yellow line and a red line. Still U-turning in there. There's so many of them. Are you by any chance? Yes, you are absolutely doing what I don't want you to do. So similar story, you can go to this waypoint instead. We get rid of that one and you are hopefully, no longer U-turning. But again, there's other lines doing it. And there we go. We don't have any vehicles doing some kind of stupid U-turn anymore, which is hopefully going to help them filter the way I would want them to. I'm also kind of wondering if I can get away with maybe upgrading this road to have a few more lanes as well. I think a few of these roads could maybe do with more lanes. And I'm also kind of thinking I want to rebuild some of this space is what I want to do. So I'm going to take out a lot of these roads and I'm going to just sort of do them myself. And then I'm going to say that this main road is going to be owned by me because I really don't want too many vehicles or too many roads connecting to it. I think all these different little intersections we have going on, it's really, really causing some problems. So if we could do something about that, that would be kind of ideal. Now, apparently I can't build out that way, which is slightly frustrating. I don't know that we necessarily need to. I also don't know what's actually blocking the construction here. It wouldn't be that waypoint because that waypoint would move. So we'll not worry too much about it. What we will do is just upgrade this road as well. And I think what I'll do is let's bring this road straight down and through. I think this is probably fine to have right here. In fact, I think what we'll do is build this guy and then build this one. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight with the lineup and all that, but I just want this road in here. I'm then thinking we do something like this, sort of straight down the middle of this area. And I almost want that to just be a dead end, right? So that's going to be a little industrial road. We could do something like this, which gives us sort of a little industrial connection there. I kind of want rid of this guy though. I do. I think maybe this whole block goes as well. So again, we can get rid of some of these intersections. We'll have this guy sort of go across there. I think that's okay. And I think we can just smooth all of this out. And then very, very simply, and I might redo that road as well. I don't think we need to, but it's very, very tempting. But then very simply what we do is come down here. We'll kind of bring, I guess that road straight down and through here should be fine. We could connect it to the front of the tram depot. I think that's fine as well. That'll give us a nice little space for some industrial buildings. We can redo this connection so it is a nice sort of gentle slope. Take out all the rest of this and bring this down here. Now, basically, my goal here is to get rid of a lot of the roads that might be giving us problems and just give us room for Belfast to grow in a way that's not going to interfere with all of my main roads. So this right here, I think needs to go. Obviously, a lot of houses on there, not exactly ideal to be doing that, but I'm sort of okay with it because I'll rebuild the road and then instead of connecting it over here, we'll connect it down here and we can have more houses sort of grow around here and that'll be totally fine. I think this connection can go. I don't really think it's necessary. And I think this road could probably be upgraded. This can go away as well. That seems like a terrible idea. In fact, this entire stretch of road can go as well. I'm basically kind of determined one way or another to make Belfast's traffic just flow a little bit better. So we'll take out, I guess, all of this and that'll give us kind of a weird little neighborhood thing is my thinking here. So maybe this just comes straight through and that'll be fine. And then very simply, I just go in and I say that I own these roads. That means that the game won't attach anything to them automatically, which means that essentially there's going to be no more intersections on any of these roads. I'm also going to say I own this one and this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, just to be safe. I don't want anything else building on those. We won't have anything attaching down here. And then before we let it build, we'll just smooth out all of the damage that I've done. And if I go ahead and let the game run, it will eventually build some stuff on those roads that I've put in there. And hopefully what I've done is ever so slightly improve traffic. There's no guarantees, but hopefully I've slightly improved traffic in and around Belfast. So moving on, at some point in recent history, I talked about airports and the problems that we have with airports. There are several problems that we have with airports. Problem number one is that London City Airport is quite busy. And as a result, we have planes just sort of sitting here with passengers on board. And problem number two is that this is actually an airfield, not an airport, which means we can't actually go in here and get any big planes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my London to Belfast line. I'm going to manage the vehicles and I'm going to sell them, which is controversial, I know, but I need to do this because I need the planes to not be on the ground here for me to be able to bulldoze this airport and build something new. So the London to Glasgow line is going to be the same story. We're getting rid of the planes and that's fine. That's what we need to be doing. Step number two of this process is going in and taking out this entire stretch of road right here because we just don't need it right now. And step number three is getting rid of that truck depot on the right, with, of course, step number four being getting rid of the airport itself. So what we can do is go in with a flattening tool, a nice strong brush, and get this whole area to be nice and neat because the airports are considerably larger than the airfields. So that, I'm hoping, is going to be about enough space. If we go in here, we get ourselves a passenger airport. We do want, well, actually, no, we'll not do a hangar because I'd be bulldozing it anyway. And I'm basically thinking we go right about here with this thing is kind of my thinking. Right about there should be perfect. We can configure this guy with another one, maybe two passenger terminals. We'll do one cargo terminal, maybe two, maybe one. We'll do one cargo terminal and a hangar, and that should be totally fine. And the footprint instantly so much bigger. But we're basically going to do the same thing. We're going to bring a one-way road around this thing. We're sending all of our vehicles around this thing. We are controlling traffic around this, so we're not having roads connecting to it. All that good stuff, and that'll give us a pretty good airport in London. I'm just really worried about Glasgow because I don't, for the life of me, know how I'm going to do this on a mountain just outside of Glasgow. I really not too sure about that one. So that's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Now, another problem that we can run into with the current setup that we have here is that unfortunately, well, basically, we can't put our cargo platform over on the right side again, but we can put it on the left, and it does have a connection to the airport. So that means our cargo trucks, I mean, they're going to have to go around anyway, but they're now going to be, you know, pulling in over this way, and that should be okay. We're not going to have that much cargo going through here. And I think just because I like this space, I'm going to put a road depot in here. I think just having some buildings in this space seems like kind of a cool thing to do. I'm going to put a tram depot over that way as well. We don't have trams in and around London right now, but again, I just kind of think, you know, fill the space with a little something, and that should be okay. I'm not really too sure what else I could put in there because we don't really have any other buildings that can really go in these spaces. And in terms of assets, I don't think there's any. I've got like fences. I've got nothing else I can put in there. And to be completely honest, I kind of need to get rid of a lot of these trees anyway, because it's an airport, right? But at the very least, we can go ahead and smooth this entire thing out just to hide our crimes a little bit. And we will need to adjust some lines to make everything work. But first things first, I want to go in and just get a few more trees in here. It's auto-saving. It's not going to let me do it every time, every single time. Every single time it does this. Okay, so we have two planes, two plane lines waiting to come into London City Airport. Let me go ahead and manage these because London City Airport doesn't exist anymore. It's going to be going to London Cargo Airport apparently, which is that the name of this place? London Cargo Airport and London Transfer. Let's rename you to London City Airport again because that makes sense. And then London to Glasgow managed line, we are going to here, London City Airport, getting rid of the old one. And that maintains the connections, which is good. This also means we can get large planes, but Glasgow can't handle them right now, so we're not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to put my trees back in here because I really love how trees look around here. I think it looks absolutely fantastic having just a really nice forest kind of in this area. I think we can have it kind of along here as well, just to sort of hide the airport from view a little bit. Might just sort of, I would say it would dampen the noise of the planes, but the planes kind of by their nature, go a little bit higher than the trees. So I'm not too sure how much noise dampening is really going to be done by these trees. And just like that, we have a new London airport, which I am fairly sure at some point we can actually expand with another runway. So eventually that road will have to go and we'll build another runway out here, which is a good thing for the game and a bad thing for London. But that's just, it's how it is. We're going to be sending a lot of people through this airport at some point in the not too distant future. And just in case you were curious, and also because I feel like pointing out my effort, I did go in here and use terrain paints to extend this grass and also extend the paved sections here. It doesn't work amazingly, but when you zoom out and look at it, it just something about it. I like this. I really like how this has turned out. I think it's great. I just kind of need to figure out how it's going to work in Glasgow. I haven't figured that part out yet. Belfast should be easy because realistically here in Belfast, all I should need to do is, why is there, oh, there's a vehicle because we've still got the Glasgow line. Okay, sell the vehicles just to get rid of it. In theory, I should be able to get rid of you, and I should be able to get rid of you. And also that road can go away. And I should be able to go in here and get myself a passenger airport and basically slap it right about here. And that should be fine. I mean, it works. I don't know what it's doing. I can't see the terrain on the right side, so this is going to be interesting at the very least. This is going to be a development. I would like to move this. I think that can go. I think we can move that down to the end here. I think that kind of makes it a little bit more sense to have it sort of at the end of things. Does that automatically get the lines? It does. We can then get the airport and sort of shuffle it along a little bit, which is going to give us some problem with the road up there. So we'll bring this to about here, which I think is as good as it's going to get. And what has that done to my terrain? Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that's an entire mountain that's gone. That's because we can put another runway in here. So that's why it's carved out that terrain. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. Okay, configure this guy. Give me another passenger terminal. Give me a cargo terminal. And give me, I don't need a hangar. Or maybe I do, because it's going to Glasgow. I will need a hangar. That's going to be a thing. Okay. What's complaining here? Belfast to Glasgow, London to Belfast. Could not connect to all stations. Have you guys gone to the cargo one? Have you gone here? What are you complaining about? What's the issue here? Belfast International Airport, I guess, doesn't exist. So you're going here now, which is, again, Belfast Cargo Airport for some reason. We can rename that. Now, there is some good news with this rebuild. We can put our cargo terminal right down there, which is pretty much exactly where I would want it to be. So that's good. The passenger terminal for, buses is working as well. So I guess I need to go in here and take out a good chunk of all of this, because this is not good. It's very, very not good. I don't quite know how I'm going to fix this either. I mean, smoothing it is apparently an option. It's going to need a lot more smoothing than that, though. I think we're going to have to do this in sort of layers and bring this all down. And I don't love what I've done here, but we need the bigger airport. We need the bigger planes, So this is kind of an essential thing that we have to do is this change. I don't know if the game ever gives you higher capacity aircraft either at any point. Higher capacity, smaller aircraft, I should say, is what I'm talking about. Because if it did, you could still use an airfield, but I really don't know. I'm also thinking it might make more sense to have planes land from this side, although there's a big, we've got this like right, actually no, that's a decent little approach. I'm going to have to get rid of some trees in there to make it work, but yeah, we're gonna clear out this little space. We'll clear out these trees as well, because I think they're a problem. We'll clear out these ones too, and that should be okay. This side we can kind of clear out these ones, and that's hopefully gonna be okay. Oh man, the damage I have done to the terrain in this space is absolutely wild. Is what it is. It's absolutely wild, and I don't love it, but it's necessary. I also want to go in though, just while we're here, and I do want to do the same thing. So I want to bring this grass sort of down through here, so it kind of all matches and lines up nicely. That tree can go away. And then it's one of these guys that lines up with the, it's not you. Is it you? No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for right there. So that lines up perfectly with this guy, which we can sort of extend out like this. And then a lighter one for there, which we can extend out to about there. And they don't connect together perfectly, but I'm not super worried about that. We'll fill up this space as best we can as well, just to make it look the part. And then I guess we go in with some nice cut grass on this side to, I don't know, blend it all together. And that looks fine. I'm sort of okay with that. I might even go so far as taking out these trees and decorating between these roads because I can. I don't know that we need to, I mean, I know that we don't need to, but I can. And you know, I think that right there is completely fine. I think we can work with this. It's detailed enough for what it is, and I'm okay with that. I guess I'm gonna have to be okay with it. Also, I've just realized we have no planks sitting over here right now because they're all getting loaded onto this train, which is kind of fantastic. What is the rate of this line now? 738. That's not bad. Your production sucks. What is going on there? We are supplying enough, but I guess the Limerick Tools Factory is the only consumer and we're transporting 100% of what we need. That checks out. We have a lot of food waiting to go to Dundalk. We should probably upgrade these vehicles. I doubt they've been upgraded anytime recently. So the Opel, are you guys Opel Blitz trucks? No, you're Benz Tarpaulin trucks. Okay, let's go for the Opel Blitz. That gives us a bit of a higher rate on those guys and should make things a little bit better for them. And I suppose we need to go and have a look at Glasgow, which, by the way, has decided that it's building a housing estate across the street from the airport. And I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough. It's also building one out this way, which I kind of, I love how Glasgow's like developing. It's great. I love that they built like just instantly, it's like airport. Aye, pal, no problem. I'm building my house right across the street. I'm so sorry. I used to be, years and years ago, I used to be great at a Scottish accent, but I haven't done it in so long that I'm like resorting to stereotypes. I love Scotland. I love it so much. I'm never going to be allowed back. I'm going to get to the border and it's going to be some big burly Scot. Ah, you're the one that did that terrible accent. That's that one Transport Fever video. Big fan, by the way, but go ahead and off. That's anyway. Oh, I'm glad I find me funny. Someone's got to. Oh man. Okay. Let me bulldoze this. Let me get rid of that airport. Oh my God. And then let me go in and say that we want a new one and we want them to land on the, oh my God, I can't rotate this. How am I gonna do this? I was hoping I could you could mirror this, you know? I was hoping I could say like put the terminal at the other end, but no, the terminal is always on the left side, which is not good. How do I do this? Do I just like extend the mountain by, you know, a couple of miles and do it that way? Or do I rotate the airport and put it the other way around? I feel like rotating the airport makes the most sense, but that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to rotate that airport. We could bring it down a little bit if we got rid of the housing estate that's popped up around it, but I don't know that I want to do that. So I think really we are just going to extend the mountain a little bit, which I mean, look, we haven't done anything realistic in this series so far, so there's no need to start now, I guess. That's how we're going to look at this entire thing. We'll bring that road right back. We can go up here and basically airport is going to live right about there, I guess. It's like 33 million to build this thing. It looks so ridiculous. These roads here are going to need to go away. We're probably not going to give this one a second runway at any point, so it's not the end of the world there. But yeah, this is some damage that we're doing here. Can I fit a cargo terminal in here? I cannot. I can fit one there, which I think looks a little bit silly. So I think what I'm going to do is move this guy to a different spot once we get ourselves a cargo terminal right about there. We could probably extend those roads just a little bit, and maybe that's how we do this, is just extending the roads instead of you know, building it elsewhere. So let's do this. Does that flatten the road? It absolutely does. We'll bring this over to... It kind of needs to go a little bit further now that I think about it. So we'll flatten this even more because we haven't flattened it enough, apparently. Bring this guy out to about here. Let's go to about here. And then we'll bring this over. We'll obviously have to rotate it, but that's fine. Take out all those parts. We can go in, rotate that road, and hopefully I can build myself a truck station, which I totally can, which is what I was looking for. So we have a truck station, which is great. We have more room that Glasgow can build on, which I guess is great. I own those roads, which is also great. So let's start, once again, trying to hide my crimes. And these are some of the worst crimes I have committed so far. But honestly, blending this in hasn't been a complete nightmare. The nightmare is going to be traffic having to drive up this hill to get around it, but that's kind of their problem and not my problem, so I'm not going to worry about it because it's not my problem. Let's do a little stretch of road right here. I think I might flatten that out. I think that'll be okay. I want to do a little stretch of road right there, and then I want to try my best to bring this guy sort of up this hill and connect it to there. And I want to see just how steep that is. Oh, wow. That is, yeah, that's a choice. That is, I want to say that's unreasonably steep. I don't know. I don't drive, so I don't really have a grasp on what is and isn't unreasonably steep for a vehicle. But I think if you kind of, if it's like standing back and looking at a flat wall in front of you, that's probably a sign that it's a bit too steep. So we'll do this instead, and that should be a little bit more gradual. It's still pretty steep, but I think that's about as good as we're going to get. And then over on this side of things, we can sort of, well, you know it's steep when it's giving you a bridge. You know, that's probably a sign that it's a little bit steep here. We can turn that into land though. We can smooth it out. It'll not be a problem. I think it might be a problem. We'll figure it out. Let me connect you over to here. And again, we'll hit it with a smoothing brush and hopefully everything's going to be fine. Now, there's two things you might be thinking to yourself. Thing number one is, why didn't you do a tunnel? And the answer to that is, I like to see the traffic move. And thing number two is, why didn't you just connect this road to that road? And that one I don't have a smug answer for. So we're going to do that as well, is what we're going to do. This is a little one-way road, so traffic using this will have to sort of go out and around to get here, which I don't necessarily love, but I think given circumstance, we're probably good. We're probably all right. We'll probably kind of just have to deal with it. We're not going to be doing a bridge in there. It is going to be land, and we will smooth that out, of course, and then just connect this around to about there. And I guess hit this with a smoothing brush, and that is another connection out of Glasgow. We'll see if that ends up being a problem. If it does, we will have to get rid of it. But for now, this looks fine. For now, I can deal with this. I'm going to. I'm not undoing it at this point. I would like to go in with a tree brush just to, again, sort of hide some of the crimes that I've made in here and make it a little bit less obvious that there is a hill that has just been built here in the year of our Lord 1964. And there we go. We have ourselves an airport in Glasgow. It's no longer just an airfield, which is preferable. That's the whole point of this little operation, was to make this all a little bit better and generally hope for the best with what I've done here, and hope that it's going to be worth it at some stage, which I have my doubts. I'm going to be honest. I do have my doubts that this was a worthwhile venture, but it's a little bit late to go back on it now. So we're sort of stuck with these we're stuck with these airports now, which is completely fine. We'll get a nice little bit of grass around this one just to make it a little bit nicer. And sure, that is the new and improved, arguably, Glasgow Airport. So now if we come back over to Belfast International Airport, we have some options for our passenger planes, which I'm so excited about. We obviously have the de Havilland Comet 4B, which is great. We do have a 737-200C, which is a cargo plane, so that means we should have some passenger Boeings at some point here. But for now, I want to say the de Havilland Comet is what we want to go for. So we're going to pick up 3 of these for 25 million. We're going to paint them orange, a little bit early for EasyJet. You did answer that question a few episodes ago, by the way. Thank you very much for that one. But we'll send these guys over to over to Glasgow, and that should be fine. I'm going to pick up maybe 5 of them for the London line. We'll go for like a nice dark blue on those and send them down towards London. And they look so good. I love the integrated engines and the wings. That's something like, I know the reasons we don't do that anymore, but I love the integrated engines. I also hate the sound of them in this game because there's such a high-pitched piercing noise, but they look great. And just in case you were curious, we do have some here in London that are going to be going up to Glasgow. There's only 3 on that line right now, but they are bigger planes, so that should be okay. So while those planes get acquainted with their new airports, I want to come back to Belfast here, and I want to take a look at some of the problems that we have with traffic, because it's really, really bad. It is tailing back through Dundalk right now, which is not at all good. And what I'm thinking is that we could potentially go in here and, number 1, upgrade the vehicles on the Dublin Food to City line. That kind of makes a fair bit of sense to me. So we'll get those upgraded. But what we could potentially do here, if I can find it, there it is manage this line. And instead of it going through Belfast, which is what it's doing right now, I want to say that we actually go this way. I've added a couple of waypoints in front of the airport, and I want to send them past the airport because there's not that much traffic on that road, and it takes them away from these roads in Belfast. And if we have a look here, why are you guys... I fixed this. I fixed... Why are you guys still U-turning? Hello? What is this? What is this about? Why are you still doing that? Oh my God. It's probably because I upgraded all of these roads, right? That's likely what the problem is. Does that mean if I was to upgrade this road, it would have the same problem? Although this road is mostly empty, so I'm kind of wondering if I downgrade it, does it still have that same issue? If I downgrade, oh, it's auto saving. Of course it is. Of course it is. Every time. Every single time. I am curious. I want to see. I've probably just got rid of these buildings, which is unfortunate. Yeah, it still wants to U-turn, which isn't great. So we kind of need to figure that out. I don't want these guys U-turning. It's really silly. I could send them across some other roads as well, but yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out. I guess they're U-turning because I don't know, there's nowhere to change lanes, I suppose. So maybe this waypoint needs to be further back. All right, so it looks like moving the waypoint back has solved part of the problem. We do still have vehicles tailing back in here, but I'm not super worried about that because hopefully, oh, wow, that went in low. Hopefully now that we're sending some vehicles sort of up this way instead of through Belfast, that will slowly start to solve some of the issues. Not 100% sure if that's really going to do too much, but we will certainly find out together is what we'll do. There are a ton of vehicles coming down this way as well, which really isn't ideal. I do think that the number of different intersections and whatnot is definitely contributing to the problem, but it looks like it's sort of clearing out a little bit here. So we'll, as always, we'll kind of just give it time and figure out what's going to happen. So I mentioned in, I think, the last episode that I wanted to start working on central sort of distribution hubs for different resources around the map. And I want to try and use the Mullenar goods factory as sort of a template for that. Ooh, we're getting some proper trucks now. This is really good timing, and a new passenger wagon there as well, which we will take a look at. But what I'm thinking is that we need to make a few changes to all of this, really. So for now, I'm going to bulldoze this guy, basically, is kind of the gist of it. That just needs to go away, because what I want to try and do is bring all of this road right back. Now, the game is going to get a little bit laggy as I do this, because basically it's like, hey, you've got a ton of vehicles in that road. Be careful, which is true. Actually, I do have a ton of vehicles in that road. But the reason I want to get rid of all of that is because I want to come in here and I want to extend this road straight up and then use this as an opportunity to put a 6-lane road in here. I don't know that we necessarily need 6 lanes, but I want 6 lanes because it's going to make my life a little bit easier is what it's going to do. I'm also going to try and get this perfectly sort of around this factory. So this, no, that's not what I wanted at all. That part can go away is what I'm wanting to do. And then we'll bring this out. It's going to be 4 lanes now, because again, it probably should be. And then we'll just curve it around. And that right there is not going to work, because of course it isn't. Can I go underneath it? We could do a tunnel. I don't know if I want to do a tunnel, but I could. Why does that not work? Why can I not connect that together? Is the slope too much? I think I think the slope might be too much, or there's something going on there. I'm really not too sure what the problem is. Let's take out this this old signal and see if that maybe solves it. Does it? It does not. Okay, that's fine. We can just take out the tracks, I guess, and reconnect it all is what we can do, because that makes perfect sense. There we go. So that should be fine. We can bring the tracks back a little bit, I suppose, and we'll bring them back on this side as well. This is going to be a nightmare. This is going to absolutely mess with my road is what it's probably going to do, but we'll do this. And we'll do this. We'll get ourselves a signal on either side of the road, so the trains aren't going to be interfering with that too much. And as I suspected, it makes my road look a little bit terrible. So let me take out this part, and we'll redo that curve and hopefully get something that looks a little bit more acceptable, which I don't know if that's any different. You know what? It doesn't matter. All right, so here's my thinking with this space. We have 2 resources coming in, that being the plastic and the steel, and 1 going out. Now, the 1 resource going out is going to be obviously the goods, and we're going to be sending those to a lot of different locations. So I want to see if I can set up some kind of little one-way system in here that's going to make my life a little easier. So that's going to go out this way. We can bring this guy sort of out to about here, and I just want to sort of connect these together some way, somehow, because I want the traffic to sort of come in and go in some very specific directions and all that good stuff. So we can extend this road, which looks fine. We can extend you out to here, which gives us that perfect little corner that we're looking for. And then we want to spin this part around, which gives us a nice little one-way square that I can do some stuff with. Now, when it comes to the buildings in here, my thinking is truck stations, 3 platforms on the right, none on the left, other way around, 3 on the left, none on the right. And basically we do this, and then we do another one that's sort of evenly spaced apart. And that can be where we drop off the steel and the plastic, right? The trucks then come out, they go around, they do their thing. That's fine. Over this way, we probably don't need to go too crazy with the number of platforms, but we're going to just do something kind of like this, maybe something up here. Maybe we'll flip it the other way around and see what we can do. I don't really know. I don't want the intersection to be down there. That's way, way too close. So that's kind of something we want to try and avoid. So I guess it would be this way around, and we can just extend this thing as we need to. So if we need to get more platforms on the left side, we can do more platforms on the left side. And this is our delivery platform. So essentially we just extend it out like this, and that should be fine, I guess. I don't know if there's going to be enough room in there, so we'll just extend this a bit as well. Although now I'm realizing that I've done that, I don't think I can put the buildings in here that I was wanting to do, because I wanted, ooh, these fit so well as well. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to take out some of this, because I want buildings on all of these. I want these to have like the proper edges on them, because it just looks so good having the proper edges here. So that's kind of important to me. I need these to look a certain way, because we're spending some time to make this look as good as it can, which apparently I can't do much about that side, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame. This one might have to be moved to make that happen. I might also change these up now that I think about it. Let's take these out, and we'll change them out for, man, should this one be central? Let's get this one central as well. We'll tidy this all up a little bit while we're here. We'll just do one on each side for the deliveries is what we'll do. So we'll go for about here. We'll go for about here. That should be fine. We'll do 3 per side for the departures, I suppose. And that should give us plenty of space, which means I should be able to come down here, and I should now be able to get these little buildings on either side of this guy. And I should be able to get the little buildings on either side of this guy. And then on this one, can I get a big building in there? I totally can, which really demonstrates that it's not central, and that bothers me so much. I wish you could move buildings in this game. I really, really do. It would make my life so much easier, but I guess this is kind of just how we're doing this. It's not perfect, and that bothers me so much. It really does. I really don't like that that it's just slightly off center. I almost had it perfectly. Oh, now there we go. That looks so much better. Basically, what I've done here is I've got everything perfectly aligned, and the simplest way to explain how to do this is I realized I have these two spaced out exactly the way I would want them to be spaced out. So bring a road off of here if you're ever wanting to do this. So it's not a tutorial or whatever. I'm not an expert, but bring a road off of here. Bring a road off of here. Bulldoze everything in the middle that's not perfectly lined up. Run that road straight through, delete the bits in the middle, and then just snap these guys to those intersections that you've got, and it just worked out perfectly. I like this a lot. Let me go ahead and start smoothing out some of the terrain around this, just to sort of put it back in the landscape a little bit. And then we need to start moving some stuff here, because we have a lot of lines in a lot of places that they're not supposed to be. So the way we can do this is say that the steel line is going to move over to, oh, I don't like that they're, I might need to flip the one-way road so that they're not crossing over each other going into these stations. That's kind of not ideal. But instead of Mullenar North, you're going to go here instead to Mullenar Transfer. And that should mean that the two resources coming in are going to where I want them to go. The goods to city for Dublin is not going to be Mullenar North. It is going to be up here. So then we'll take out Mullenar North right there, and that should be fine. Goods to city for Galway is similar story, except we'll send it into Mullenar Sidings just to sort of split it up a little bit. And Dundalk, Managed Line, we'll say this one just to split it up a little bit as well. And we'll put it into platform number 1 there, again, just to sort of change things up. Now, unfortunately, the vehicles all look to be using pretty much the same lane the entire way around here, which I was kind of hoping to avoid. I'm wondering if I downgrade this to use 2 lanes instead, are they going to sort of split up a little bit? And the answer is ultimately no, they're not, which is a bit of a shame, really. I was hoping that they would. I was hoping that I could kind of make this happen. We can't fit a large country road in there. I'm very curious, though, if I make this a 2-way street thing, what does it do? I mean, yeah, they come in, they go around, they do their thing. I'm going to stick to my 1-way road for now, is what I'm going to do. Because if we need to, we can put more, I guess, cargo terminals sort of like here or here or here, whatever we need to do. Or like, we could put them out here as well if I wanted to. So this is expandable and snappable and all that good stuff. So we'll see sort of how this goes is what we'll do. I'm not 100% sure what way it's going to work out. Mullenar goods to city as well actually needs to be moved to in here, which should be completely fine. And that sort of moves them all to different spaces. I don't know how that's necessarily going to go. I don't know how that's necessarily going to work out, but I'm definitely curious to see if traffic now flows a little bit better, because this road was getting really busy at one point. So hopefully this solves that issue. Hopefully we now have, is that a rock? Let's get rid of you. We don't want a rock in there. Hopefully that solves the issue, and hopefully we start to see, traffic moving around here in a really good way. That's certainly what we're going to be looking for out of all of this. I'm also kind of wondering if I sort of space these out more and given them more entrances or like bigger roads going in there. I don't know. There's a lot of changes we probably could have made to make this better. What I will do is manage this line and say that at Mullenar North, you're going to both platforms because you are dropping off plastic, which is fine. And then the steel is the same story. At Mullenar Transfer, you are going to use both of the platforms because, again, you're dropping stuff off. And just because I think it is going to make life a little bit easier for these guys, I am going to flip the 1-way system to have it sort of go in, well, obviously the complete opposite direction. Because what that does is it means that they're not crossing over each other as they go in and out of the terminals. And they're using 3 lanes to get out, which is really cool, actually. That's what we want out of this, even if this is still really close together, which is not ideal, but this should be okay. Okay, so with a few upgrades to our road infrastructure just north of Mullenar, and with some concerning sights of trains being stuck on the tracks, which I don't necessarily love, are they all just not going anywhere right now? And it's what is going on here? So you're stopped there, you're stopped down here, you're stopped down here. What is causing all of my trains not want to move right now? By the looks of it, I think it's this. I think it's the fact that this one has its back end stuck across the I was looking for a word there other than anyway. Yeah, I think that's kind of our problem. I think that train is giving us a lot of issues. I'm gonna move, let's see, if I get a new signal and I put it there, does that train have the ability to move now? It does. That will probably help us out. That might cause some problems if trains sort of back onto this part, but we should be okay. I'm also going to move some signals kind of into the middle of this bridge to sort of let the trains stop a bit closer together. And that'll hopefully help us a little bit there as well. That's definitely going to be a factor in what's going on with some of the traffic around here, I think, possibly. Maybe not, honestly. I think I've done a pretty good job at stopping the trains from stopping on the roads, but hopefully that gradually solves the issues that we're seeing down here, because that's really bad. It's really, really bad that all of these trains seem to have been stuck there for a while. I don't love that, but hopefully I've fixed it. Hopefully those signals are going to solve those issues. Now, in other news, this isn't good. This is really, really bad, actually. And I think what I'm going to do to sort of solve this problem is I'm going to move my steel production out of Mullenar, because we just have way too much traffic around here, and we do have other options. We have a steel mill down by Waterford, and we have Waterford iron ore mine that we're already using, and we have Waterford coal mine up here, which we're not using, but it's on a road that's barely used anyway. So essentially, I think we use this steel mill. It's way out in the middle of nowhere, which is great. And I think it'll be perfect for what I want to do. So we'll go in here. We're going to get ourselves a truck station. And, well, I wonder if it would be a good idea to sort of build a little, not a full sort of depot thing down here, but a little something next to this, this factory might not be the worst idea in the world. You know, just giving myself a few lanes to play with and all that good stuff. It might be the way to go if we just do something kind of like this to start with. I think that'll kind of be okay. I think at the end of this, we kind of turn that way. And this is maybe, I mean, there's going to be a lot of traffic on this road regardless of what I do, but I think just giving these guys a few different options for where they're picking stuff up and dropping it off is probably for the best. I would like a little bit more length to that road that I'm working with right there. So let me just do exactly that. And you know what? Let me bring this across as well so that I can put some other roads in here that are all going to be at the same length. So this guy's going to live right about here, and that'll be fine. That is going to be our pickup, I suppose. And I think that'll be all right. And then I don't know about distances on these. I'm not really super concerned about it being absolutely perfect. It would be nice if it was, but it's not really gonna be. I think that right there is as close as I'm gonna get. All of this can now sort of go away. And then all I need to do is bring a road sort of straight down here, get it as sort of lined up as I possibly can. It's probably not gonna be completely perfect either, but that right there gives us a nice little bit of space to work with to pick up and drop off all the stuff that needs to go into this facility. And these are all connected to it, which is lovely. So I'm okay with this. I think that'll be totally fine. We can go down. We can swap out these roads for more of a country road looking thing, at least up to that point, I suppose. We can do something like this along that stretch of road. And I'm going to take this out for a second and just rebuild it so it's not going out into the water, because that seems a little bit silly. So right to about there should be fine. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I think that's pretty good. This little road might need some love at some point. The roads through Waterford should be okay.
This is, yeah, this is good. I think this is a good decision. I think this is a good decision is what I'm going to go for here. That's going to be what we're calling this, a good decision. So before we get all of that set up, I want to come up this way and I want to go to iron to steel. I want to manage those vehicles and I want to sell them because we're not doing that anymore. I want to go to coal to steel. I want to manage those vehicles and I want to sell them because we're not doing that anymore. And I want to go Mullenar steel to goods. I want to manage those vehicles and I want to sell them because we're not doing that anymore. So essentially we go in, we need to get rid of some of these lines. I want to view the ones that are here and it is all of these guys. So this line goes away, this line goes away, and this line goes away. And that should help with traffic in this area a little bit. We can take out these old stations as well since we don't really need them. This guy can kind of go away as well. And we can kind of bring this road all the way back and get a bit of a better connection on that than we had before. So this is kind of a win for this area. We'll go in and just do some kind of little bend over to here. That looks fine to me. We will smooth that out just like so. And that looks good. I like that a lot. In fact, I want to bring this road back as well. And I want to just extend a nice sort of straight section of road through there. So we'll go and do something like this. So it lines up with that corner quite nicely. We can maybe just add a few more lanes right there. And I think that looks good. I think that's a good connection. I mean, this factory is obviously going to sort of downgrade, but that should be okay. We can get rid of you as well. And again, it should improve traffic in there because we're cutting out so many industrial vehicles. We are going to be sending a bunch back up there, of course, but that's okay. We'll manage is what we'll do. So we'll go from Kilkenny Central. We're going to go down to here and we're going to call this road cargo. It is Waterford and it is iron to steel. And just like that, we have all of the lines set up. Now, obviously, the steel delivery line is going to be sort of running past these guys. That should be okay. I'm not super worried about that. And I think what I'm going to try and do is just max out pretty much everything as quickly as I possibly can. So we'll go and get ourselves a road depot. And I think we'll build it. Do I want to build it in here? Probably not. I could build it down here. I'm not really against having it sort of down this way. I don't think it looks too bad down this way. We could build it in Waterford itself. That is also an option. I think right about there is where we'll go for that road depot. And then I want to have a look at our iron to steel line. I want to pin this and I want to get enough vehicles to just have 800 as the rate on this. We do have the new vehicles as well, which is amazing. I kind of forgot about these. So we're able to move 21 units of whatever we're doing versus 13. Yeah, this is going to be huge. This is going to be good. So this is the iron line. We'll make them orange, I guess. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to duplicate again. We'll say 4 of them for now. And we're going to put you on the iron to steel line. That gives us a rate instantly of 136. This is going to be good. This is going to be the first sort of trial run of these new vehicles. We're still going to need a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. We'll start with enough to do the first, 500 units, but 16 vehicles is pretty solid, which is great news. We'll take a look at the coal line now and see just how many we're going to need for this one. Let's start with, we'll say 10 vehicles to start with. I think is totally fine. We'll sort of paint them a bit of a darker color and we'll say coal to steel. That gives us 436. The other one was 500 and something. So let's manage these guys. We'll put 2 more on there, which gives us 523. That should be good. 523, if we round that down to 500, is going to be 250 steel because it's 2 to 1. Well, it's 4 to 1, but regardless, it's 2 of each to 1 steel. So a rate of 200 for our steel to goods line, which is much, much longer, is what we're going to be looking for here. Only 17 in the capacity of this tarpaulin truck, but that should be all right. Let's start with 20 of these guys. Let's paint them sort of a nice sort of steely color. And steel to goods, that gives me a rate of 172, which is fine. We'll go ahead and put maybe, I want to say 5 more of these guys on here. That gives us a rate of 215. That is perfectly fine. Okay, so they're going to head out. They're going to start doing their thing. They're great looking trucks. Oh, I love that. You love to see it. That's going to be some really good production is what that's going to be. It's going to take a while to get to where I want it to be, but that is going to be some really, really good production. And we probably should go around and start looking at upgrading all of our lines to now use these bigger trucks. So looking in here, for example, Dublin bricks to city has a rate of 119, or no, a rate of 74. Dublin has a demand of 256. It's just moving bricks. If I swap these guys out for this tarpaulin truck, we now have a rate of 104. We needed 256. So I'm just going to duplicate these. It is more vehicles, but it's not as many as we would have needed, and 203 should be fine. Mullenar bricks to city. These guys are pretty outdated. Let's just swap them out for this, and we'll get a much higher rate on that from 196 to, oh no, 105 on Mullenar bricks to city. That's fine. Mullenar fuel to city, same story. We'll go in, we'll get the tank truck. We went from 150 to 226, and Mullenar tools to city 344 is going to go to a grand total of 487, which is so much higher than I'm thinking we're going to need. 487, it only needs to be 85 right now. So if we keep Mullenar pinned for a second and we look at this, tools to city is, 487. That is quite unnecessary. It just needs to be 85. Let's take out, I want to say like 6 of these to start with. That gives us 188. Let's take out another 2, and that gives us 88, which is just a bit more than we need. We'll put 1 more in there just to, future-proof things a little bit, and that should keep us good. The fuel situation is 182. The rate on that is 226. That's fine. That's future-proofing. And the goods line we'll not worry too much about. The bricks to city is 105.67. That's future-proofing. That's fine. I really like that we're starting to get these bigger trucks, though. That's very, very cool. We should probably do the same thing with Castle Bar then. So Castle Bar tools, fuel, and bricks to city. If we have a look over here, the demand for fuel is 183. The rate is 210. Let's swap these guys out for this guy, which gives us 315. The demand was 183. So essentially, we want to bring this down to about 183. Let's take out 5 of those new trucks. That gives us 237. Let's take out 2 more, and that'll bring us down to about 200, which is perfect. That means fewer vehicles, moving more stuff. That's exactly what we're looking for. Oh, and look at that. We already have a bunch of these trucks coming in here and dropping off a bunch of iron, which is good news. We've got a bunch of coal being jumped off as well, and steel being picked up and taken out a little bit slowly, but it's certainly getting there. Hopefully this place will come together and it'll, upgrade and do its thing. Hopefully Waterford won't complain too much. I'm also wanting to, especially now that we have the bigger trucks, I want to start bringing some goods down to Waterford. I think we can just do that by truck. We could bring them down to Tralee and Cork as well. We could do that by train, I suppose, but we're already having so many problems with the trains, and they're just waiting around so much already that I don't know if it would be a great idea to use trains as a means to move goods around. And like I said, we have these bigger trucks now, so there's probably not a lot of harm in using these things to move stuff around, because we're already doing it, which is kind of perfect as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I was just about to wrap things up, but I'm realizing we can probably improve some of the stuff going on in here, this entire mess, by just going over here and improving these trucks. So the rate on this line is 546 right now. There's 77 vehicles. I'm going to swap them out for these guys, which gives us now a rate of 814, which is what we want, because this thing can produce 800. So if this is producing 800 and we're refining it, which we are doing over this way, we will be able to make 400 barrels of this stuff, which means this line needs a rate of 400 as well. So we swap you guys out for these guys. The rate's already 408. It's now 613. We'll take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these and sell them, which gives us a rate of 454, which is fine. I think we'll maybe sell another one. We'll maybe sell another 2 and try and get that down as close to 400 as we can go. We actually do need 1 more in here. So 18 of these guys gives us a rate just over 400, which is perfect. So that now means if that rate is 400, production up here can be about 400. So these guys, the plastic to goods line, has 357 right now. Let's swap you out for the bigger tarpaulin trucks. That gives us 506. We'll sell 2 of them just to bring that number down a little bit and get some traffic off of the road. We'll sell 1 more to bring a little bit more traffic off the road, and that gives us 433. I think we can get rid of another one, bringing it down to 407. And again, that's a little bit more traffic off of the road, which is exactly what we're looking for. This is why I want these bigger trucks in here, because it's less and less traffic on the roads while moving the same amount of stuff. And that's the important thing. That's why I'm hoping that moving my steel production down to Waterford is going to help with traffic here, because now we don't have all of the steel trucks kind of driving around this space. Well, we do. The steel trucks, these guys are coming up here, but the other ones aren't, and there's generally just less traffic anyway. So hopefully this filters out. I'm hoping for good things here. I'm really hoping for good things here. Not 100% sure if we're going to get good things here, but hopefully we do. You know, I don't know that the reduced number of vehicles is really doing much for us when it comes to this roundabout. It is just still really, really busy. I mean, it's sort of filtering through, but it also kind of isn't. And I kind of need to figure out why that is and how I'm going to fix it, because this is a problem, man. This is not good. This is very, very not good. I also can't upgrade that road apparently, which is not good either. I guess it's probably the signals that are stopping me from doing that though. So if I was to go in and take those out, can I maybe make this road a little bit bigger? I don't know if more lanes, I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't know if more lanes is the solution to this problem, but it's the solution that I'm choosing to go with right now because it's the only solution that I have. So we'll put a couple of signals just up there so that we still keep those. And hopefully that's going to let traffic through there and filter out and do their thing and get around and whatever. I mean, look, if traffic can get through here better, that's great. It won't get around that roundabout better, and that's something I'm going to have to figure out. I think we just have too much traffic going around this space, and that's kind of ultimately the problem, but it could be worse. It could be Dundalk with all of this traffic that's trying to get through to Belfast. It could be all of my vehicles just sitting here, continuing to be stuck in traffic instead of getting through Belfast. It's, yeah, it's a lot of civilian traffic as well. Like, it's a lot of people that are trying to get to into Belfast here, and it's I mean, it's accurate for Belfast. It is Belfast, but yeah, I'm gonna need to do something about this. I really, really need to do something about this. I think what we could do is if we look at some of these lines, so Alma fuel to city, for example, 138 is the rate right now. If I swap these guys out for these other trucks, it now goes to 206. If I then go and sell some vehicles to bring it back down to 138, I'm wondering, I mean, it's obviously, well, 137, we'll put one more in there. It's not really much of an upgrade because we're not increasing the rate, right? But we're doing the same work with fewer vehicles, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So this line, for example, 188, if we manage those vehicles, there's 30 of them. Essentially, once we're done auto saving, if I swap these guys out for the tarpaulin trucks as well, I'm kind of wondering, so 188 goes to 266. We can go in here and maybe take like 10 of these out of here and bring that back down to 188. 10 of them might be a bit much, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens if we go down to 20 vehicles. 192. So it is still an upgrade with a third the number of vehicles. If we look at this line, it's tools to city. It's 58 right now. We'll manage that. We'll swap them out for the new guys, which gives us 82. Let's sell 2 of them. 64. Still a bit of an upgrade. Probably not enough for Belfast, but it's okay for now. Alma machines to city is 28 right now. It's probably in need of a bit of an upgrade. So we'll go to 39 and that'll be fine. Let's see what else we're dealing with along here. We have Londonderry machines to city. I don't think we're going to sell any vehicles on this line, to be quite honest with you. I think we'll just upgrade it because it's probably needing it. And then we have lines like Belfast Bricks to City. It has 25 vehicles on it. We can go ahead and swap those guys out for these new guys. It's 142, 201. Let's sell 5 of them. So again, fewer vehicles for a bit of an increase is completely fine by me. And so hopefully that does something. I'm not expecting that to be the solution to Belfast's traffic problems, but it is a few fewer vehicles, which I think is okay. We also have some trams in here that I think I probably want to rebuild at some point. But for now, actually, these trams seem to be deeply unpopular. Let me upgrade these, because we did get a new tram in here, which is better than what we had. It also carries more people, which is great. So we'll upgrade those guys, and I think I'm going to sell half of them, because they're not really being used all that much. And again, that is going to be a little bit less traffic on the streets. They're also kind of really bunched together because of the traffic situation. So I think it makes sense to maybe just have less of them. And that's probably why they're not popular, because of the fact that they just get bunched together. They're not very effective because they get stuck in traffic. So we might want to look into some options. Maybe we look at moving the trams onto some less popular streets, which for the most part, they actually do operate on. They go down to the docks, they come back. They only seem to get stuck here, which isn't ideal. So I almost wonder if putting them on the main road would be the way to go, because there's really not much traffic on that main road, because it's all stuck trying to get onto that main road. So I suppose we're just gonna have to give Belfast some time, and we're just gonna have to see what happens with it, because I do think the vehicle changes will help a little bit. I've also made some changes to some of the roads here and there. I got rid of some, I put some new ones in. I just tidied things up a little bit. And so hopefully that results in some new growth in Belfast and also some better traffic in Belfast. But it's going to be a little bit of a while before we see how that goes. So I guess that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.